Well, Happy New Year, Anne. Well, this is the new scheme called Get Around for £2. So it's 130 bus operators, 4,600 routes in England. People will be able to buy a single for no more than £2. And Transport Secretary Mark Harper says it should take around, should save around a third on average for all single bus fares, and take around, he reckons, around 2 million cars off the road. He goes on to say that the buses are a key part of our vision for a clean, efficient and modern transport network. And now we know that on pre-pandemic levels, passenger numbers on buses are running at around 80 to 85%. So this Get Around for £2 scheme is all about trying to get people back onto the buses, getting people back into town centres, and give 2023 a boost to the economy, because so often, especially in rural areas where people have to drive long distances and bus services have been cut, this £2 fare means people can get onto the bus, go into town, go and meet friends and socialise and do all kinds of other things, but boost the economy. That's the main thing. Now, the campaign for better transport back in July, in a report, said that in the last 10 years around a quarter of all bus services in England have been axed. And now the Confederation of Passenger Transport says that in April, when this scheme ends, that could well continue because of rising costs such as fuel and all sorts. They reckon they're spending around 25% more on their prices, and obviously with inflation having to pay their staff more. But the Transport Undersecretary for the government, Richard Holden, has said that after that £2 billion that was made available to keep bus services running in the coronavirus pandemic, that this should hope to boost bus services back to pre-pandemic levels. And Mark McTague, who's the national chair of the Confederation of Small Businesses, as I mentioned the economy and how big of a boost this could be, says that more than a third of small firms consider public transport important for their business. In terms of cities like this, in Birmingham, bus routes are huge. I'm currently standing outside one of the busiest bus stop areas, right outside the train station, where many people get off to kind of come into the town, go into the shopping centre just to the left of me, catch a train elsewhere. So in terms of for city centres outside of London, these bus routes should try and take, as Mark Harper was saying, around 2 million cars off the road and free up congestion, hopefully, in city centres. But as I say, it's also connecting rural areas. In terms of where some of the biggest saves are, we've got Leeds and Scarborough, where the usual price is around £13. You're going to get a single now for £2. For Lancaster and Kendal, where it's £12.50, again £2. And believe it or not, Plymouth and Exeter, which is usually £9.20, is going to be for a single just £2. So it's really opening up and making bus routes and making the use of buses a lot more accessible for people around England.
I think it's a great idea, and it will get more people on the buses, out and about. It will be welcome. It should always happen. Mind you, it's only until April, isn't it? Do all the prices just shoot up again in April?
Well, we're not sure yet. It looked like the idea is essentially to get the passenger numbers back up to those pre-pandemic levels. As I said, they're only running around 80 to 85%. So to get those passenger numbers back up, so that the bus companies can start to drop their prices themselves, because of course they've got more passengers and they've got more money coming in to their business. So that's the idea. This £60 million of funding running up until April to subsidise those bus companies, get passenger numbers back up, so that bus companies themselves, when this support ends in April, can start to lower prices for passengers themselves.
That's really great. Thanks for bringing us a good news story. It's nice to start the year with that. And do stay with us here.